Yummy!
Beep, bum, bum, bum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
Once upon a time, in a small kingdom of tiny cottages, babbling brooks, and rolling hills, lived a little witch. A middle-sized wolf, an absolutely enormous giant. His awesome footsteps echoed like thunder throughout the land. Once upon a time, an old couple had so many children they just did not know how to feed them. Especially the youngest daughter, Molly, who ate them out of house and home and garage. "Oh, what shall we do?" groaned the poor starving mother.
Well, we'll dump her in the forest, just like that Gretel kid.
And so, early the next day, Molly was turfed out in the forest with only a 6-kilo bucket of chips to sustain her. "I'll starve to death by this evening." This unlikely event was avoided by her discovery of a large house. A tall, thin lady opened the door. "Got any chips and a giant burger?" "Chips," said the lady, who was as thin as a chip herself. "Certainly not. And the only giant around will eat you up for supper if he catches you." But Molly, her brain dissolved by years of polysaturated fat, was blind to the danger. Such was her craving for chips. "Well, don't say I didn't warn you." No sooner had she spoken than a fearful roar came from inside the house.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell chips. Oh, yum, yum, yum.
"Quick, hide in here," said his wife, stuffing the girl into a cupboard. "And try not to make a sound." The giant burst in the kitchen and had to mop it up.
Got anything for supper, darling?
"In the cupboard." "Thanks a lot. Did you swear undying loyalty to your husband or something?" "I did." "I thought as much."
You'll do for breakfast, said the giant,
pleased with his wife's questionable behavior. The wife put a rope around the child and led her up to a bedroom where she was made to sleep in the same bed as the giant's daughter, who had extremely smelly feet and ghastly breath. Molly noticed that the giant's daughter had a golden necklace around her neck. Molly swapped over the golden necklace for her own rope. But the giant was supposed to be on a diet, but like many dieters before and since, he couldn't resist a midnight binge. So up the stairs he went and into the bedroom, where he felt around for the rope, thinking he'd got Molly. but he actually carried his own daughter down to the kitchen. Molly knew that even the dim giant would realize his mistake in the light of the kitchen, so she made her escape, or as good an escape as the diet of chips and burgers would allow. She dashed down a back stairway, out of the door and away, until she arrived at a king's palace. Golden chips.
Oh, French fries, only I'm afraid,
said the king, revealing his superior breeding before showing Molly to the royal kitchens. There, she complained to the king about the giant, saying he was a menace. And what did the king propose to do about it?
The giant has a magic ring that has certain powers. If you get that ring, you can marry my son, and you can have chips for life.
"Dan," said Molly, as she set off back toward the giant castle. Your breakfast was escaping. The giant was very cross and very thick, and didn't know the best way to punish Molly for this behavior.
Yeah, what would you do if you were me?
I'll put you in a sack and throw you out with the rubbish.
Well, that's what I'll do to you then.
He tied her in a sack, then went to check what day rubbish collection was. But Molly planned revenge on the horrid wife who had deceived her so readily. "Look, what's in here? Chips, I suppose. Even better. Gold, silver, gold. Let me see. Let me out.
You tricked me, you did.
It's me, Mrs. Giant. Let me out, you fool. But the deaf giant heaved the sack back onto the pavement, from where it was speedily collected 7 weeks later. Molly returned to the king's castle, where he honored his promise by exchanging the prince for the giant's magic ring, an arrangement not entirely to the young prince's liking.
Oh, disgusting. Eating with her fingers. Oh, no breathing.
There's something funny going on. I think it must be the cannibals. They're here next.